Red Bull's stunning resurgence. Can Verstappen complete F1's greatest comeback? Can a team written off just weeks ago pull off the greatest championship comeback in F1 history? What does Red Bull know about their car that McLaren should be terrified of? And why is Max Verstappen's experience under pressure the one weapon that could destroy McLaren's dream season? The answers to these questions might just rewrite everything we thought we knew about the 2025 championship battle. 2 consecutive victories, 69 points to make up, and a technically skilled team principal who's turned Red Bull's entire season on its head. What looked like a comfortable McLaren procession to the championship has suddenly become the most unpredictable title fight in decades. And the man orchestrating this comeback believes Singapore will prove whether Red Bull's resurgence is real or just a temporary spark. Let's rewind to where this all began. Monza. A new floor bolted onto the RB21. And suddenly, Verstappen wasn't just competitive, he was dominant. Then Baku arrived, and here's where it gets interesting. According to team principal Mechis, Baku presented a completely different challenge with only slow speed corners and very low downforce. Quote, "That combination worked very well for us. It's a different equation compared to Monza. So that's the good news for us." Think about what that means. 2 circuits with fundamentally different characteristics, 2 different upgrade packages, 2 dominant performances. Red Bull hasn't just found speed on one type of track. They've unlocked something fundamental about the RB21 that works across multiple racing conditions. The technical story here is fascinating. The Monza floor created a platform, but the Baku front wing proved the upgrades weren't circuit-specific flukes. They're addressing core issues with the car's balance and performance window. Mechis himself acknowledged this was quite easy to understand for the team, which suggests they've finally identified what was holding them back all season. But here's the reality check. Singapore is coming. And Singapore has never been kind to Red Bull. Even during their record-breaking 2023 season when they won 19 out of 22 races, Marina Bay was the one circuit that broke their perfect record. It's a maximum downforce track in extreme heat. And according to Mechis, we have been struggling quite a lot in Budapest, which shares similar characteristics. But wait. Because what Red Bull discovered in Baku changes everything about how we should view Singapore. The data from these last 2 races reveals something McLaren might have completely missed, and it could hand Verstappen the momentum he needs to close that 69-point gap. Here's what the numbers are actually telling us. Singapore represents the ultimate test of whether Red Bull's upgrades are championship caliber or just competitive enough to win races. Mechis laid out the challenge perfectly. You go to Singapore, you move a bit your equations, you keep the slow speed corners, but you go to maximum downforce. The slow speed corner performance they found in Baku is directly transferable. That's the critical insight. But the maximum downforce requirement and the extreme heat create variables that could expose any remaining weaknesses in the RB21's setup window. Verstappen himself took a cautiously optimistic approach when discussing Singapore. According to his own assessment, if the car is shocking to drive, then yes, it's really hard to keep it in a straight line. But if the car is nice to drive, then it's more about just the physicality of it. He added that when everything's going well, you can relax a bit more, making it naturally less physical. This tells us something important. Verstappen isn't approaching Singapore with blind confidence. He's measuring success by car behavior first, results second. That's the mentality of someone who understands the championship is a marathon, not a sprint. 6 points more than Norris and 10 points more than Piastri per race. That's the target. Anything more is a bonus. The real story isn't just about Red Bull's speed, though. It's about what's happening inside McLaren's garage and why that internal dynamic could be the factor that hands Verstappen this championship on a silver platter. Because the mathematics of a 3-way title fight create a problem McLaren has never had to solve before. Zak Brown, McLaren's team boss, acknowledged the Red Bull threat directly. "I think you got to pay attention to Max. We've got to keep doing what we're doing. The Constructors is looking very good." But notice what he said next about Baku. "We had a chance to wrap it up in Baku, but let's not talk about Baku." Then Stella said something that should be written in capital letters according to the source. Of course, we don't have to forget that, first of all, he's Max Verstappen, world champion for the last 4 years in a fast car. The pressure is shifting, and there's one factor that separates Verstappen from both McLaren drivers, an advantage that doesn't show up in performance data, but could decide this entire championship. The evidence from recent F1 history suggests this factor has destroyed team harmony before. The document makes a critical observation. Verstappen has been under this type of championship pressure in 2021 and 2024. Neither Norris nor Piastri has experienced what Max has. That's not just about racecraft or speed. It's about decision-making under extreme pressure when every point matters, and your teammate is simultaneously your biggest threat. The historical precedent is unavoidable. The 2016 Mercedes battle between Hamilton and Rosberg. And more recently this season, Canada saw contact between the McLaren drivers. When you have two teammates fighting for a championship with a fast 4-time champion breathing down both their necks, the papaya rules Zach Brown implemented might not survive first contact with reality. The technical leadership change at Red Bull adds another dimension. The document notes that when you have a technically knowledgeable leader who actually listens to his drivers, you end up with a team capable of winning races. That's a pointed observation about the previous management structure, and it suggests Red Bull's problems this season were organizational, not fundamental car design flaws. Mechis brought technical clarity and driver trust back to Red Bull. That combination, paired with Verstappen's championship experience and motivation, creates a threat McLaren must now manage across multiple fronts: their own internal team dynamics, Red Bull's improving car, and the psychological pressure of defending a lead rather than chasing one. Singapore will answer the biggest question: is Red Bull's comeback real or just a temporary spike? The evidence from Monza and Baku suggests something fundamental has changed. The technical upgrades work across different track types, the team structure is stable, and Verstappen has the motivation and experience to execute under pressure. But McLaren still holds the points advantage and arguably the fastest car. The championship isn't won by momentum alone. It's won by consistency, reliability, and managing internal team dynamics when both drivers want the same trophy. Can Verstappen complete what would be the greatest comeback in modern F1 history? Will McLaren's drivers turn on each other as the pressure intensifies? And can Mechis maintain Red Bull's development trajectory through the final races? The next few races won't just decide the 2025 championship, they'll define legacies. What do you think? Is Red Bull's comeback sustainable, or will McLaren's pace advantage prove too much to overcome? Let me know in the comments below.